So August is a busy book event month, I have discovered. There are several very interesting book events happening that I would love to participate in. However, I don't have time to participate in all of them, and my main interest is Star Trek, of course, which covers both August and September. So I will be participating in the BookTrek / Babylon 5 face-off between Vin over at Revenant Reads and Shaundi Standfast, and I'll have both their channels linked down in my description. So the first book I'll be reading for that is Vulcan's Glory by D.C. Fontana. It is about Spock's first mission on the Enterprise with Captain Pike, which really excites me because I watched all of Strange New Worlds and oh, I absolutely loved it. I'm crazy about it. It's so good. It feels finally like a real Star Trek show. So I'm very excited to read this. And D.C. Fontana wrote episodes of the original Star Trek, and she's all involved in a bunch of the other Star Trek as well. So I'm expecting this one to be good. Then I'm going to read Death in Winter by Michael Jan Friedman. He's written a number of Star Trek novels, which is, as far as I know, the first book that takes place after the events of Nemesis. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And then I'll be reading 2 Kindle books from the Titan series, which are the next books after Nemesis. The first one is called The Red King by Michael A. Martin and Andy Mangels, and hopefully I'm pronouncing those authors' names correctly. The next one is Taking Wing, also by those same 2 authors. And for my Babylon 5 reads, I'll be reading the first 3 in the 9-book series. The first one is called Voices by John Vornholt, who has written several Star Trek novels. And then I'll be reading book 2, Accusations by Lois Tilton. I'm not familiar with her as an author. And then book 3, Blood Oath, again by John Vornholt. Then also taking place in August is August of Adventures, hosted by Shaundi Standfast and Book Time with Elvis. I'll have both of their channels linked in my description. And for that, I've chosen a true adventure. It is called Sailing Around the World, a personal account of the first solo circumnavigation of the globe by sail. Joshua Slocum is the author and the person who accomplished this task. He set off in 1895 on a sailboat, and it took him 3 years to get around the world, and he had all kinds of adventures, including an encounter with pirates. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I think that it sounds like it'll fit in perfectly for August of Adventures, and it's not very long, so I should be able to slip that in without any problem. Then in September, there is also going to be a book event called, I believe it's called Autumn of Amour. I could have that name wrong. It's being hosted by the Bookish Bryants. They talk about it on their channel, and I'll have that video linked in my description. So I am not a romance reader, and that's what you'll be reading for August of Amour. But I used to be when I was in junior high, high school, and throughout my 20s. It kind of got less towards my later 20s. But I did read quite a lot of romance. In fact, it was my main genre for a long time when I was real young. And so I'm not a romance reader anymore. I've tried romance and I can't get into it anymore. The closest that I come to romance is erotica, which is like super naughty books. And I read 2 or 3 of those a year, and I like those just fine. However, I thought since this is a book event, I do still have quite a few, maybe 2 to 3 boxes worth of romance novels from when I was real young. I've saved them. I got rid of most of them, but I saved all of my favorites back then. So I'm going to pull those out of my storage unit and choose a few out of there to reread and see if I still like them now. And then I also bought a new-to-me romance novel that is in the same vein as those that I used to read when I was young. It's called Stardust of Yesterday by Lynn Kirkland, and it was published in 1996, so I was still reading romance novels at this time. So I thought I'd throw in a new one too. So that's my reading plans for August and September. We'll see if I can stick to it. I am quite the mood reader, so it's not a guarantee that I will read all of those books over the course of August and September. I might be carried away by some other book mood in the middle of all that. So we'll see how far I get, and I'll try to come back and talk about those books after I read them. But again, I am not only a moody reader, but I'm also a moody booktuber. So it's frequently a month or two before I come back to do videos. So we'll see how I turn out, but I'm going to try.